So we've got Dave Bartoo in here. We're going to get Joey Harrington in next. Yeah, Oregon football. You know, and I don't think this is hyperbole, Dave, but you call me off the ball if you think I'm crazy. And I'm not trying to just suck up to our listeners because we have the Ducks. You know, everybody always like, yeah, you guys are just... Dude, here's what I truly think. Bottom line, I think people have come to respect that Suke and I, most generally, we don't really have a dog in any of these fights. We just tell it like it is, and that's what we're known for.
Right, whether you're right or wrong.
That's
right.
That's right.
Now, I will admit, I am harder on Oregon
you've
than
said that before.
anybody else because that's where I graduated from.
Yeah.
Right? I'm an alumni, so I am going to try to sugarcoat this as little as I can because I don't want anybody going, no, you can't be doing that.
Another thing they'll say is, oh, you just love Lanning. And I do love Dan Lanning. We have him on, and I enjoy him. I think he's a good dude. I sort of even have, I sort of understand him a little bit more because we're both Midwest boys. Like, a lot of the stuff he says, I totally identify with. Mm-hmm. I know where he's coming from. I think he is absolutely legit. And he's, the fact that he's staying at Oregon, all this to say, and this is not me just blowing smoke for any of the reason. This is what I think. I think Oregon is poised to win a national championship. I don't know if it's going to be this year, but I think this dude, Dan Lanning, and what he is building, I mean, crap can happen. He could, who knows? Maybe he could leave. Injuries, you got all kinds of things that could happen. But, dude, this is as good as it's been at Oregon, and they've had some good things cooking down there for 20 years.
Right.
25 years.
Well, let's look at
Chip Kelly.
Let's look at our last 24 national champions. Okay, let's check some boxes here. Okay. Right? If you're going to go down that national championship path.
Yeah. I am. Right, I'm going down that road.
So number 1, are they a top 12 recruiter over the last 4 years? Not transfer portal. I'm just talking high school.
Well, but doesn't transfer portal change that now?
No, it doesn't. It doesn't.
Why not?
We ran the numbers because
there's so many players.
No. Because Oregon's high school recruiting is going to be the equivalent of their transfer portal recruiting. Teams who recruit in the top 10 in high school recruiting don't suddenly recruit outside the top 50 in transfer portal recruiting.
So do you have an extra?
No.
You don't?
No. Last year, the 4-year moving average, the best 4-year high school recruiter won 76% of all the games last year. That was the highest level in 24 years. And we didn't include any transfers. Any.
I got to tell you, I think that's... I don't know. I think you got to mix in a transfer model.
That's cool. That's cool.
That's what I think.
It hasn't been supported yet, and we don't have enough data to actually mix it in there.
Yeah, it's too early.
Now, case by case.
Okay.
Now you might get bumps from an exceptional player, a Dylan Gabriel.
Yeah.
Okay. A Cam Ward to Miami. Right? I mean, you and I both know a quarterback can transcend all of that stuff if he's good enough. So Oregon and Miami, in my opinion, from a transfer standpoint, they won the transfer just on those guys.
Okay, but you're just saying top 12
high school recruiters, which Oregon is.
Oregon is. They are top 12?
They're like number 6.
Wow,
they're awesome.
That's better than I even thought.
It's
and that's Lanning.
Dan has built on top of what Mario has done. Okay, yeah. They both have done an exceptional job. Oregon, talent-wise, is in a better spot than they've ever been. I will 100% agree with you with that.
Right?
Do they have the talent level, recruited talent level of the last 24 national champions? Yes, they do. So there's our first box.
There you go.
Right? There's our first box. All right. So that's one of our most important ones. Were they top 25 in offensive and defensive scoring efficiency last year? And the reason I'm asking that is because every single national title winner was top 25 in total scoring efficiency the year before they won it.
In both?
Combined.
Combined.
Okay. Right? You have
to.
So what it tells you is you have to be good before you're great.
You're trending there. Okay.
Right? You got to be good before you're great.
Were they?
Oregon was top 10 in offense and defense last year.
Okay.
So this was a really good team last year. Do they have from a staff standpoint a top 40% offensive and defensive coordinator? This is where it gets a little bit iffy because with Will Stein, you only have 2 years of play calling, but it's been excellent. UTSA and Oregon, right? So with their staff, I would say if there's only a national championship question mark is the combination of Dan's, Will's, and Tosh's total experience. It's been good at Oregon. The last 2 years, offensively, everything's been really good. Defensively, it's trended up. And so that's really my only question mark there. But when it comes down to the two key things, performance last year, and recruiting. Okay, those are your two big ones. Every single national title winner has been top 12 recruiter, and over the previous 4 years in my numbers, and top 25 in scoring efficiency the previous year. They were good before they were great.
So they fit the profile.
They fit the profile, man. I mean, this is
what's his coach effect?
This is a tier.
Lanning.
He's never beat a team that has out recruited him, and I think he's only played one, and that was Georgia.
Right. 0-1 there.
Yeah.
But has he lost to a team that he has out recruited?
Oh yeah, he's lost to Washington twice and Oregon State. And he probably wins 2 of those 3 of those games if he doesn't go for it on fourth down. The numbers are against him when he goes for it on fourth and long all the time.
So he has a negative coach effect because of those losses.
He does, but you also have, there's a caveat there in that
they don't ever play a team that's out recruited.
They played 24 regular season games under him, and 23 of them they've out recruited the guys.
Yeah.
They should be. He has no plus coach effect opportunities. He only has downside.
Right.
Right. So is he above average in winning expectations in those 23 games? If you go by the numbers of teams getting upset or not, you would expect him to lose more games than he did. All right. So he is still trending up, and what he has done with the talent he has in his peer group is still very solid. Right. So I would say the only question mark I have for Oregon from are you a national title contender is the overall experience of the coaching staff. But the coaching staff, they only lost one guy this year too. That's the other thing. Look at all the coaching continuity they have. They kept their OC, they kept their DC, they kept their head coach. They lost Lachlan to Ohio State, but they turned around and got a guy that in our grade book for a career is just as good. Samples out of Arizona State. That guy is huge upside.
Running back
coach. Right. And so they have a lot of continuity where you look at the schedule that they have, and we can go through this if you want to, is look at the 3 of their 4 biggest games. The teams they're playing were gutted.
Yeah, the schedule lines up well.
Oh,
We've talked about this before. So Ohio State, they get at home.
Right.
And then Oregon State, Washington, and Michigan, the 3 best teams from last year, not named Ohio State, they will play this year. They all are not nearly as good as last year.
Right. I mean, he from a coach effect standpoint, here's how good Oregon's recruiting is. If Dan goes 12-0, his coach effect is 0.
Yeah, so they out-recruited Ohio State?
No, but because it's at Eugene, the difference between Ohio State's recruiting and Oregon is so close. Wow. The home field advantage, we've always had a little tweak on the home field advantage. Right. So this is
what's their toughest game outside of Ohio State in Eugene?
It's hard to say. Really, right? Because we got Idaho. That's going to be a W at home, right? It should be. Boise State's at home. Oregon State, gutted, right? Talent and coaching, that's gutted. UCLA's been gutted.
Yeah.
I mean, they had no money. They went and hired like a Raiders running back coach to be
Deshaun Foster, baby.
Dude, why don't you just say we're out of money, man? Oh, my gosh. Michigan State, new that's at home.
Jonathan Smith.
But that's a whole new staff. Right? So now you're getting Michigan State that has been completely turned over. You get UCLA that's been completely turned over. You have Boise with a new head coach. You have Oregon State completely turned over. You got Ohio, right? I mean, this is crazy. Gorgeous.
Yeah. They could have handpicked.
Yeah, I looked at this and I'm like,
they let them pick their schedule.
It's like they let me pick the schedule, right? It's like, here's the 12 teams, you pick the schedule. And then
is Penn State on there?
No.
They missed them.
Yeah, they dodged Penn State. Right? They dodge. I shouldn't say dodge. They just don't have them. They get Ohio State at home.
Well, they don't play USC.
No, they don't play USC. They're at Purdue.
Okay.
Whatever. That should be Illinois at home.
Michigan.
They're at Michigan again. That coaching staff and that offense is gutted.
Completely different.
I'll take Michigan right now as the most likely team currently in the top 25 to not be there.
Okay.
Maryland at home.
Jesus.
Right? At Wisconsin.
Yeah. Luke Fickell got something cooking.
Luke is good.
Late in the season.
Good.
Cold.
Phil Longo's good.
I don't love that.
No, that's a
trap.
Sketchy one.
Yep, that's a trap.
It's not a trap because the next week's a bye.
Well, I don't. Okay, trap's not the right word. Okay. It's a scary game.
Right. Well, that's the other thing I'm looking in here is where's the trap? Maybe Maryland. You go at Michigan. And then you go at Wisconsin, and in between Maryland at home. There's your trap game.
That's a trap. Yeah.
So Maryland's your trap game, right? Your loss most likely loss is home against Ohio State, and then you get Washington again at home again.
Yeah,
Gutted.
that is manageable, man.
This is.
So you agree with me? They're in a championship window.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. They're in a championship window. They're also in a competitive window because you have Washington, Michigan, Michigan State, UCLA, or you have all this turnover on your schedule. And in the Big Ten, they also have a scheduling opportunity. So the opportunity from a schedule standpoint, somebody has to take advantage of it. It is Oregon or Ohio State. Somebody has to take advantage of all these teams that are in turmoil. So we might get we could get Oregon, Ohio State a couple times. We get a Big Ten title game
twice.
3
times maybe. So they play once in Eugene.
Yep.
They meet in the Big Ten title game.
Yep.
And then they meet in the playoff
game. And they could do it bam, bam, bam.
Dude, I can't wait for this 12-team playoff. I really can't.
But this is, if you're a Duck fan, this schedule has got to give you tight sport pants right now.
Yeah, I think that's right, Dave. I think that's right. Love it. Ducks in a window.